link record with the youngest link of the century. $1 million in a couple hours. I'm still the youngest one doing it. For all the grown haters who've been hating since I was 9 years old, look at me now. What y'all got to say? Y'all been doubting me for 7 years. You can hate on me all you want. You can't say Lil Tay ain't winning. So for everybody out there, do whatever the hell you want with your life. Who gives a what people have to say? And remember this, Lil Tay rich and finna get richer. Oh yeah, and thank you to all my supporters who have pre-ordered since 2018 or whenever you did.
It gets harder every day to defend men in this country. Lil Tay launched an OF on her 18th birthday and made over $1 million in just 3 hours. This little girl just turned 18. She has the exact same face that she did when she was 12. She has the same figure that she had when she was 16, 17. But y'all were fantasizing, waiting for this day. Just like with Bahad Bahabi. You remember the Catch Me Outside girl? We watched her grow up on the internet. She launched an OF on her 18th birthday and made $1 million in one day because you people are so disgusting. What is so attractive about a fresh 18-year-old? You people are PDFs.
That is weird. She said pre-order since 2018. Okay, that's sickening. But I'm not surprised. I think with all these things changing, you know, some states, y'all can't blame the men. She's 18. You're weird. She's 18.
I don't think men realize how weird comments like that are, because it's just like, okay, if they passed the law to drop the age of consent to 16, are you going?
In some states, they actually have that. But the fact that she doesn't even look like she's 18. She looks like she's in middle school.
Exactly. And it's like, just because something is legal doesn't mean that it's morally correct. And it's like, that just goes to show, for that girl to be just turning 18 and she made that much money in that short amount of time, that just goes to show how sick and what that guy was saying, PDF-y a lot of these men are in this country. Because why are y'all so ready to look at a little girl?
And we are back at the Lil Tay situation again. Now, let's just kind of just go ahead and break down this first part because it's going to be a nice extensive video, bro. But let's break down the first part. Now, Jazz bring up the fact that, well, hey, just because she is 18 doesn't mean it's morally correct. But yet, these are the same women who will not hold these other women accountable for wanting to fight for these women to be able to be on OnlyFans at 18, who are jumping into the industry at 18. Y'all see many videos on Pornhub, on all of these other sites and OnlyFans where they're just freshly 18. Nobody put a pew pew to the head and told them to make that account. Nobody told them that they had to jump into these industries. These women yarned this when they were younger, and then as soon as they turned 18, they went ahead and jumped into these industries. But instead of holding these women accountable who said, let me partake in this type of behavior, you're going to try to hold the men accountable. And the funny thing about it is, these men are just one to just go ahead and bust one and keep it moving. That's it. These men don't want to bust one and just keep it moving. But no, we're going to simply say, hey, well, y'all are wrong for sitting over here watching this girl. Y'all are wrong for this. Y'all are wrong for that. Which, once again, if you're talking about these women who, like, we're talking about guys who specifically are waiting for Lil Tay, that goes without saying, yes, they are some creeps, period. They are some creeps. But that goes without saying. But the issue is, y'all don't really want to hold the actual problem accountable. The actual problem is women, man, thinking that it's okay to be 18 years of age and jumping on OF. These women think it's okay to be 18 and then jumping straight into an industry. But once again, these women, these feminists, has fought for women to have this type of lifestyle. Now, just to kind of, jump forward into the video a little bit, Jazz says you really can't even police women. We hear that from a lot of your feminists today. You cannot police women. You cannot police women. But yet, you're then going to get upset when these same women decide to go ahead and jump into these industries, and then a man says, hey, well, I just want to indulge in it. I just want to go ahead and get my nut and get gone. You're missing the real issue. You're missing the real problem, Jazz. You can't police the women who are literally benefiting from men who are just simply saying, hey, well, let me go ahead and watch this girl who work they enjoy. Hey, guys, listen, I'm a girl. I'm going to jump on OF. I'm going to go ahead and put my body out there for everybody to see. But instead of holding me accountable, y'all need to hold the men accountable who's paying for this stuff. And they're just enjoying the work that I put out there. It's ridiculous, but let's continue.
Like that, because it wasn't a bunch of 18-year-olds signing up for her OF. Those more than likely were grown men, way older than her. So I mean, this is something to say about that.
Does anyone know the kind of content? Not saying that it matters, but I'm curious the kind of content she has on OnlyFans. Is it sexually motivated? Is it her showing her toes? Is she rapping? Like, what is the content?
I mean, I don't think it really matters. OF is OF. You can't dress it up and make it cute.
Well, OF just recently got, I won't say recently, but back in the day, like people weren't using it for corn and other things like that. Like there are people who had OnlyFans accounts for other reasons outside of just showing their tatas and shaking some ass. Like,
but let's just be honest though. Let's say if she's not doing porn. Why? Let's just be real. What the intentions of what they're doing? They're getting live action of a chick that looks like a little girl. So even if she doesn't not doing porn, she dresses like that a lot. I've seen her crop tops and so even if it's not explicit, the men that are interested is got that mindset, oh, okay, what's next? They're tuning into this girl because they're infatuated of a little girl.
Well, and I think that's
the easiest access for them to see a girl that's 18 but looks like she's in middle school.
But that also, once again, proves our point that men have very predatory behaviors, not just in this regard, but in other aspects as well.
And there go Jess, right? There go Jess and D. And once again, Jess and people like Jess and Jazz are the issues that we have with our women today, with the women in our womanhood and the women in our sisterhood today, because all they do is they're just very disingenuous and they argue in bad faith. So she's saying that this goes to our point that a lot of your men are predatory, when that's just not the case. Most of your men aren't predatory. But if you're going to sit here and say that, then you have to say the same thing for women. You can literally say the exact same thing for women. And as you said in other aspects as well, the word predatory for a lot of these people, like every other word that women change today, they're trying to change the meaning of what predatory means today, right? It's so broad now. Now they can say that predatory means a man who's just simply, quote unquote, a womanizer, but who simply just chases women all day. Oh, that's predatory. That's predatory. But yet these are the same women who fought for sexual liberation to be able to sleep around and deal with whoever they want to deal with no repercussions. All of these older women that sit here and deal with younger men, they won't ever call them predatory, but they will just hold the men accountable. They will hold the men accountable. And it's not frowned upon by either gender. The only gender will ever be frowned upon is when it's men. But when you're talking about women who being predatory, when it comes down to them dating somebody younger, or if they decide here just chasing as much meat as they want, they won't call them predatory. If we gonna sit here and say they're predatory, then we could say Amber Rose was predatory. She dated numerous of young guys. We're gonna sit here and say Madonna was predatory. I mean, I saw her whole list of the men that she was dealing with, but a lot of those guys in there were way, way, way younger than her. But guess what? Nobody wants to call her predatory. They didn't even want to call her predatory, man, when she sat over here and forced a kiss on Drake. She forced a kiss on Drake. But no women have an issue with that. A lot of women still love Madonna to this very day. But this is the hypocrisy that we have in our community today. This is the hypocrisy that we're dealing with today when it comes down to people like Jess and Jazz. When these women go out here and go fight for liberation, when these women go out here and go act like Amber Rose and Madonna, we don't say that they're predators. We just sit here and say that, well, you know what, they're sexually liberated. They're fighting, this is what feminism fought for. We pretty much just say that they're empowering themselves. This is their body, their choice. So it's always, women will always move the goalpost to fit their argument and their narrative. And that's the sick part about it. That's just the sick part about it, because the cycle will continue to happen when we have women who walk through life thinking like this.
Mm-hmm. I seriously think she made that much money showing feet pictures.
No,
and just comments. Come on, like
I don't think it's pictures.
Let's be real. No, it's OF is a type of corn, and it's scary. And I blame family because we all have that one uncle that can't be come to the barbecue because that can't be left alone with the teenager. We all have that one Theo. You can't wear that around your Theo. You know how he is, so go change. And they're little girls, 13, 14. Why are that type of behavior should be spoken out
Yes.
by the mothers and their parents?
Yeah.
Because it starts like that, and then it becomes, and it's so easy to have access to corn nowadays, and we're sexualizing teenagers.
Yeah. You shouldn't be policing little girls' clothing. You should be policing these weird ass men that are sexualizing little girls.
Men.
Like
They waited from
Or call
2018.
out Theo Marcos or whoever. I'm like, no, she's gonna wear what she's gonna wear.
Wait a minute. You shouldn't be policing little girls' clothing.
no, because what
Depends
because
on the age. Oh, I'm sorry.
what I'm saying is this: if you are a grown man and looking at a little girl in shorts and getting aroused, and you telling a little girl in the summertime that she can't wear shorts, she's not showing her tail, she's not showing anything, she's wearing shorts in the summertime, but because there's a grown man around that may get aroused by her little legs,
Now you trying
you have to, instead of calling this, well, let me answer the question. Instead of calling out the weirdo behavior of this grown man sexualizing this young child, you want to put pants on this little child's legs in the summertime. She's not being sexual. She's not showing her body. She's being a child in shorts in the summertime, and a grown man can't be around her because he's sexualizing her body parts. That's a problem.
But
So no,
Jazz-
in those cases, you shouldn't be doing that.
Once again, Jazz is just arguing in bad faith. Jazz is arguing in bad faith like she do in dang near every video she is in. Of course, men should not be aroused by young ladies, by young children. Of course, we know that. That goes without saying. However, it is still your job as a parent. It is still your job as an adult to go out your way to make sure that your child is in the safe space possible. It is your job to make sure that your child is not being put in positions to where they are having to go through stuff like this. But only these type of women are going to sit here and say that, hey, well, we need to live in a world of what should be versus what is. Men shouldn't do that. But guess what? There are men who are going to do that. And the fact that these are the same women who can sit here and acknowledge that there are creeps in this world, but won't do anything to make the changes. And what I mean by make the changes to protect their own, they would just rather sit there and complain about it. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Y'all can sit here and acknowledge that there's creeps in the world, but you won't do anything to protect your own children, to protect your own people from it. You're talking about a little girl. You know that there are creeps out here. You know, you even just said, hey, we do understand that there are some creepy ass uncles out there. But hey, you really won't know that they are until they actually do something that, okay, well, dang, whoa, this person is a creep. But we have a lot of masterminds out here who like to hide behind that stuff, who say, hey, man, ain't no creep, ain't this, ain't that, until they actually get that opportunity to get your child, to get your daughter, to get your cousin back into a corner. And then what? But hey, no, you ain't gonna sit over here and try to protect them. You ain't gonna sit here and say, well, listen, no, you need to change your clothes. Hey, no, you need to do this. No, you need to do that. Hey, well, we need to protect you from a lot of this stuff. We're gonna sit here and go through life saying that, hey, well, nah, it shouldn't be that way. Well, nah, it shouldn't be that way. But the sad thing about it is that way.
Now she's trying to frame it, right? And so
I'm not framing it. That's the real. You shouldn't. A little girl. That's like saying don't put clothes on around like certain grown adults can't be around babies in diapers because they're going to be aroused by the baby's legs. So put something on the babies. No, why are you aroused by babies? That should be the conversation more than what people are wearing across the board.
So again, she's trying to frame it and trying to make it clean it up. But you have to do both. You have to be very, very much policing little girls' clothing, and people should not be interested in little girls. You should be doing both. You can't just do what you want to do. No little girl should not be able to just wear whatever it is that they want to wear. No,
I didn't say that. I didn't say wear whatever you want to wear. I said it doesn't matter what a little girl or even a woman has on. There have been
Doesn't
times
matter.
where children who are
doesn't-
completely covered are being violated by men. There are times where women are completely covered being violated by men. So what I'm saying is it's not the clothing that is the problem. It's the behavior of men, which
It
goes
doesn't
to
matter.
I just believe
Proof that a lot of your women will see conflict and will running head first. Will running head first and then complain when something happens. And then they will say, well, I shouldn't have to go through all of that, but you did. That's the thing about it. You did, and you chose not to prepare yourself for it. You chose not to go ahead and take the necessary precautions to keep yourself from having to go through that stuff. And once again, women literally walk around with the same mindset every single day. Well, I should be able to dress however I want to dress, and men should not be sitting over here catcalling me this, that, and the third. But you will have men tell you, hey, well, you want to dress a certain way so you can avoid that. But instead of just simply saying, you know what, you're right, they will say, well, nah, I should be able to do what I want, not dress however I want. And then people get upset when we continue to have these conversations. People get upset when we continue to have red pill to sit here and talk about stuff like this. But yet we continue to have women who are like this. It doesn't make any sense. You complain about the same talking points, but we still have the same exact women in our community that are willing to allow their daughters to sit over here and be taken advantage of because they don't want to make the right changes. They don't want to make the necessary changes. This is why I kind of say, man, these women who think like this are worse than predators because you're literally just willing to just be to just be negligent. Just say, hey, well, I don't care. I don't care about what reality is. I think this is how it should be. Everybody think it should be that way, but once again, it doesn't work that way. You can come across 500 men who are good, but there's going to be that one guy who may want to do something to you. But hey, because you hey, well, they doing right. They not supposed to. They're not supposed to. So I'm gonna sit over here and dress however I want to dress. I'm gonna be able to do whatever I freaking want to do. And then something happens. Instead of simply taking accountability, you'll want to sit here and say that, hey, well, that man is in the wrong, which he is. But what could you have done to make that change? But this is where your woman will say that, hey, well, now you're trying to victim blame. Now you're trying to victim blame. I guess you just can't take no accountability. I guess there was just nothing that you could do to make a change. I guess there was nothing that you could have done to keep yourself from that situation, right? The difference is men know how to manipulate. Men know how to hide behind a mask. And kids, they don't know how to use discernment. They think it's just another day. They think it's just another day at the park. It's up to the woman and the parents to make the necessary changes to protect that child by any means necessary. But when you have your women like Jazz, they're not willing to make the necessary changes to protect her own children. So she rather have these children go through something tragic in their life, rather have these children have a traumatic experience than try to help them avoid having that experience. And as I stated before, this is why I said women who are like Jazz and Jess, they will be bad for our community because they will rather their children go through a traumatic experience than just protect them from that traumatic experience.
I think sometimes it comes to the point that most women don't understand this world. And we have to protect our babies. Yes, you can wear a bathing suit in the summer, but you need a cover up. Yeah, you can walk. You can have on a 2-piece, but you need some shorts on. Like even with my daughters, like not all children are shaped the same, are in one box. So if you know you have a shapely daughter, if I'm taking my girls to the pool, you're gonna have on either a tank top or some shorts over that can get in the pool because you can't control the mind of the people around you, but you can at least protect your children.
So I think you're misunderstanding me. I'm not saying dress your kids up to be overtly sexy. What I'm saying is even when you cover up your shapely daughter, even when you I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't have to say it for me.
No, I know what you said.
I'm going to say what I'm saying.
You have to police little girls' clothing.
I'm going to say what I'm saying because what I'm saying is this: even when you, Mrs. K, if you have a shapely daughter and you make sure she is covered up, there are still men out there that are going to objectify her or, God forbid, harm her because they just can't control themselves around a shapely woman, regardless of what she's wearing. So what I'm saying is, yes, we should make sure our children are wearing appropriate clothing. Do not misunderstand me. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, even when our children are dressed appropriately, they are subjected to being abused by predatory men. And so while, yes, we should make sure they are appropriate, we should also be focused on how men, when it doesn't matter what children are wearing, they are looking to violate that child just because of their body parts. And that's not okay. Because are you going to blame a baby when they're violated by a grown man because they had on a diaper? You know what I'm saying? So while you are correct, making sure that your children are dressed correctly, we should be definitely focused on why men look at women, children, babies, and look at their body parts as something sexual to have and not.
I just believe we lack awareness. This world is not safe. It's not safe. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you want to say. If you already know in your head that it's a possibility of this happening, you have to be proactive. It's you got to do like Anton said. You have to understand men are going to be. I'm not going to say men are going to be men. Not to this subject, but some men are going to
look. Shouldn't be like that.
Look at her. They were subscribing to her since 2018. It's really men in the world who are sitting back watching your children grow up. So even knowing that, you are supposed to still be protecting them. You can't.
I think you're, like I said, I think you're misunderstanding. No one's saying not to protect your kid. No one is saying to dress your kid up in any type of way. But we have to also figure out why men, no matter what a child is wearing, that they could harm a child and violate them because of their sexual desires.
That's what I'm saying. That's not something we can figure out. We can't change that. We can't.
Well,
I don't think change what some of these men have in their head.
So we just should accept that men are.
You have to accept the world isn't safe, and I'm going to protect my baby from what I don't know this man is thinking.
You don't think there's anything in society that can stop men from harming children? We just have to accept it.
I'm not saying
no, that's not what she's saying. I think both y'all fighting two different points.
Not safe. The world isn't safe. There are some men out here who aren't safe. So you can't just push that on the car and say, well, we need to fix the man. My baby gonna wear what she want to wear. It can't go like that.
Okay, so what happens when your baby is wearing what she's supposed to wear and not inappropriately dressed and is violated?
No, but that's not her point. Both y'all got two different points.
You're going to the extreme. Not only that, you don't put your children in situations where they aren't protected. So if my daughter is going to the pool or going to the beach, I'm poolside.
But there are times you're not around your child 24/7. Your child can be.
Where would my daughter be in a swimsuit that I don't have access to her?
But you do know. I'm not saying that this has happened to you, but I'm saying you do know children can be violated by family members.
My kids don't spend the night. My kids don't spend the night. I take all precautions to not let that happen. It's so many ways.
I get it, but even when they go to way to school, are the
type of parents that they don't want to be safe than sorry. They're gonna throw their kids to the wolves and try to fix it after that. I don't want my kids to ever experience.
No, I know that, but like you said, you can't stop the world. So God forbid she's at school and something happens. God forbid she's away at college and something happens. God forbid she's on her first job and something happens when she's closing up. What I'm saying is these things are happening when we're not even putting ourselves in this line of danger. So we should be trying to understand why men view women as these people that they can harm and violate before they protect.
So that's what I'm saying. You keep saying we need to understand that. We can't understand that. We can't get into the psyche of a creep and fix it. It's just who he is. We can't change the narrative of these men. We can only protect our children. We can only be proactive. We can only make sure they're not staying the night. You're not hanging out to where you're not protecting. My kids not allowed to be at the house after 9:30. They don't stay the night at auntie's house.
I get what you're saying. I think, like I said, I think we're missing it. Y'all are making it.
I'm not missing it.
Y'all are talking about two different points. Like
I get what you're saying. You're trying to frame it to the world need to fix men. We can't do that. There's nothing we can do to get into the head of these men and change how they think. Only thing we can do is protect our children to make sure if they are around men we don't know, they're covered. That's the only thing I can say. There's nothing we can do.
I don't.
Like some men just gonna take it to the left. Some men, like we just got proof of it. Since 2018, people been subscribing to her.
Yeah,
we can't fix that.
I don't know. I don't know. I just think that while yes, we should be protecting our kids, we have to. We can't just turn a blind eye and just say, well, we just have to accept it. Just do everything.
I didn't say accept it. I said we can't. There's nothing we can do.
It's easier
That's
to
accepting. That's accepting.
No, but Jazz,
So
she's
you can't do
basically
anything.
saying you got control over what your kid is wearing. We
and
don't have control over society as a whole.
And what I'm saying
Easier
is
to fix a minority problem than a bigger problem. So all you just said, your first stance was like most of these men are pedos, or not pedos, but are in this type of nature. I can't control that. But these little girls nowadays, they're on social media, they're on TikTok, they're twerking. So I can't control everybody, all these men. But what you can control is the little girls that you have in your family, your kids. But these little other people, the access, these girls got TikToks at 5 and they got TikToks in middle school. Why do they have access?
These little 5-year-olds are influencers.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Crazy. But what I'm saying is, even when you're protecting them, right? Mm-hmm. There are still men.
We know that.
Right. So what I'm asking is, what do we do to hold the men accountable that violate children, even when they're dressed properly? We can't keep
those men should go to jail. Those men can go to jail and get what they deserve, but we can't control that aspect. We can control who's around us. You can't control those people. The courts got to.
Right.
I don't know. I think
if that happens to their parents, gotta put them to the courts.
No, I get that, but we also know there are a lot of abusers that don't get held accountable. There are a lot of family members that abuse children that never get held accountable.
And whose fault is that?
No, certainly the family's fault for sure.
Exactly. So I don't have control of those families.
No, but
when I'm talking to your family members, you have access.
So
I can't hold those people accountable.
Jazz is just literally arguing points that we already know. Like she just, once again, she's arguing in bad faith. She is being very, very disingenuous. And this is why the cycle will always continue, because you're going to have women who are like Jazz and Jess who are willing to just allow this stuff to slide. Allow these women and kids just to dress and walk through life however they want to walk through life, as if there aren't creeps out here. Yeah, but they can acknowledge it though. They can acknowledge your creeps out here, but they're not willing to do anything that it takes to keep them away from being in that position. You can't predict what the next man is going to do. So, like my football coach used to tell us, be ready so you don't have to get ready. Hence why we have mace, people. We have mace for women, because we understand that, hey, well, you might not want to carry a pew-pew around. So at least have a mace to at least protect yourself. So when a guy does come out of nowhere and try to take advantage of you, you will at least be prepared. But somebody like Jazz will sit here and tell you we shouldn't have mace because men shouldn't be doing this. Even the men who are the issues, they understand they shouldn't be doing what they're doing. But guess what? A lot of these people either don't have a care in the world, they don't have nothing to lose, or they don't have nothing to live for. So they're going to do whatever they want. So once again, as somebody who uses common sense, Jazz, you will just simply do everything you can to keep yourself from being put in a position that is going to be traumatic to you for the rest of your life. And guess what? If something does happen to you, you're going to be the main one to be laying in bed every single day for years to come. And it's going to cross your mind, what could I have done to kept myself in that situation? The thing with women today is they will sit here, man, they will sit here and walk through life the same way Jazz is walking through life. But then when something does happen, they will constantly, oh my gosh, man, I wish I just, I wish I would have did this. I wish I would have did that. They will then actually make changes. But the sad thing about it is they will only make the changes after something has been done. And this is why I said you will rather complain than just make a change. You'll rather complain than just make a change. Jazz and Jess, thank you for proving our points. Thank you for proving my point that women will rather complain than just make a change. And they will only want to cry about it on the back end after the damage is already done. And it's nobody's fault but yours. Do me a huge favor, man. Leave me a like, leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel. Let me know down below, what do y'all guys think of this mess?